In the 40s and 50s, there's no doubt that tobacco was the main crop in cash crop here in Carthage and Moore County. The 4 panels of the mural show you the 4 stages of working and producing and selling each tobacco crop. Tobacco was grown from a small seed and in a field with what was called a tobacco bed. It was covered with cloth until all danger of frost was gone. And then as the plants got to 3 to 5 inches, they were planted by hand in the field by individuals. These were planted in long rows about a yard apart so that an individual could walk between the rows, and you could also drive a mule or a horse between the rows to plow and to haul a tobacco sled. The second stage was the picking of the tobacco. That was called priming because you picked the prime leaf, the ripe leaf, 3 or 4 leaves off the bottom of a 4 to 5 foot tobacco stalk, a single stalk, and you put it in a tobacco sled with the stems all facing the same way. When the tobacco sled was full, it was a narrow, about a sled less than a yard wide and about 3 foot sides. You would take it to the barn, and at the barn it would be unloaded and put on tables, waist-high tables that were under cover around the edge of the tobacco barn. And there, children and women would pick it up and put it in bundles of 2 to 3 leaves with the stems all pointing the same way and hand them to very skilled women who would tie it to a tobacco stick. That was the highest paid job, by the way, of the folks working in tobacco. And once a tobacco stick was full, and they used string to do this and tied the end, it would be put in the tobacco house on rafters that were some 4 feet apart and hung to dry, loading from the top down. Then it would be heat cured with either wood fire or later oil fire, which was very carefully controlled until each leaf had been given the drying that it needed. And that usually took close to a week. And then it was taken out and taken off the sticks, and the 2 or 3 leaves, or maybe 4 or 5 leaves, were knotted together in what was called a hand. And it was then taken to the warehouse and sold by weight with auctioneers who were usually very colorful and who were selling to the big tobacco companies as who would buy it, and it would be taken to use for cigarettes primarily, but other tobacco products as well. Tobacco, no doubt, was the financial king of this area during those decades. And it was very important, not only for the farmer who bought his food and clothing and heat and everything else he needed, but also for those who worked, like the teenagers who used the money to buy clothes for school, and it sent some of them to college as they got older. And it was a big deal, and everybody worked together. In those days, it was probably the most integrated economy in Moore County because of the number of folks, both black and white, who worked together in that industry. And it was really the financial king in those days. We're glad that you come to see the mural today. This period of history for Carthage and Moore County was very important. It was dirty work, but it was good cash money, and it supported a lot of things in our town and county.